Welcome, Gabrielle, to the Castellani Show!
Yes. I'm so happy to be here.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. You're such an icon, such a powerful woman, and a living proof that woman of color can and will keep conquering space in comedy and in any other industry that you want, as you should.
Yes.
Tell me about your career, your journey, especially your journey in comedy. Do you find it hard or tougher to be a woman and a woman of color in the comedy business?
1000%. I mean, comedy is definitely, especially stand up comedy, is definitely more traditionally a male dominated space. So when I moved to Los Angeles and I first started doing stand up comedy, it was kind of like I would get the comments of like, you're too pretty to do comedy. And like, it was just kind of weird, creepy guys always trying to hit on you and things. So, like, my comedy disguise was always like a baseball hat and like kind of toning down my femininity. And then I remember taking this class and it was like, no, embrace your femininity. It was a stand-up comedy class for women. It was called Pretty Funny Women. And the whole point is like, you're a woman, embrace that. And she made us wear dresses for our showcase, which I'm not a huge dress person. Whatever, but it really clicked. Like, okay, I can embrace my femininity, and I feel like there's been much more of a wave of women taking over the comedy space and kind of getting involved and saturating in that. Not only as stand-up comedians, but as writers, and it's a great thing because it adds that different voice to comedy and allows people to really kind of see a different side of things and a different point of view. And I think women, we have a lot to say, and I think it's great we've been having an opportunity to say it. And especially as a woman of color, our voice and our vision and our experiences are very specific, but they're also universal in that we all deal with love, we all deal with heartbreak, we all deal with disappointment, we all deal with those broad spectrums, but the specificity of it being about Black women, and especially with our sketch comedy show. So I've been having a good old time. Like, I love comedy. I've always loved comedy. I love making people laugh. I love laughing. I just feel like that's something we as human beings need more of all the time. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It feeds the soul a little bit, and it helps release some of that tension that we live with. We're caught up in so much in our lives. Like, comedy just brings joy and it just brings that release. It kind of takes that pressure valve out. You know what I mean? So I've been having a great time, and I've been excited that these past few years my career has gone from so much drama to being able to do more of the comedy.
Portraying icons can be a blessing and a curse. How did you find your center to portray Whitney Houston?
Oh, I mean, yes, it was definitely very much so like, yay, I'm playing Whitney Houston. It's like, oh, yay, I'm playing Whitney Houston. Like, that's like
That's
a
a
huge
lot of
weight
pressure
off
in
your
my back.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. So it was just basically, I found my center by praying a lot. Like, I just had to feel very much so grounded, at peace, being able to talk to people that knew her, and just being this huge fan of her. And I think my director did a really great job of kind of setting the tone that most actresses don't want to hear, like, you won't be in makeup. And it's just like, well, what do you mean? Like, Whitney was beautiful. What are we doing here? But his whole vision and his whole intent was, we as fans know Whitney Houston as Whitney Houston, this larger than life, iconic, amazing, no one else like her superstar, right? But the film is about her home life. It's about her being a mother, being a wife, being a friend, and a person who has struggles
It's
in her
about being a
life as
human.
well. Exactly. So it was really more about like seeing that human side of her and trying to make her more relatable, because nobody can really relate to Whitney Houston, the icon, but we can relate to Whitney Houston at home and her lifestyle, and kind of keeping her grounded. So I think that was really fun, and it was a challenge, and it was exciting, and it was scary, and all of those things. But I prayed a lot, and it was just also about maintaining a level of respect for her. So I prayed for her. I prayed for the family. I just did a lot of praying.
Yeah. I could relate a lot because when I got a show, I was like, yay, I got a show to host. And then I was like, wait, hold on a minute. I got a show to host.
Yeah.
I can't do
Because that's
this.
your name up there. That's your name. It's all the pressure's on you.
It's self-titled. No, I can't do this. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to make my show about relatability. I want, to be representative, and I want people to come here and share their struggles and how they can be a platform of healing for other people. And then I felt less pressured about let me humanize the show and make it more about the glamour and more about being relatable. And then it felt more comfortable.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel
just
like
gotta get in your groove, you
Yeah.
know?
Gabrielle, you worked on so many projects, all kinds of projects, all kinds of films in the industry. Is there anything you like to see in the entertainment industry regarding accessibility?
As far as like what I can get access to, like, because I would love to see more live theater. I would love if the world could get back to normal. I live for live theater. Like, I grew up in live theater and those things. As far as what I would have accessibility to personally with entertainment, I would love to do some action, some more physical things. Like on a Black Lady Sketch Show, I've been able to do a lot of physical comedy, which is great.
Mhm.
But I would love to like expound upon that and just like, I'm a very physical person, and just kind of use my dance training in some way, shape, or form, whether it be a role that plays a dancer or to do, like I said, some action. I'm really, really into that. So that would be really fun.
Awesome. Since you want to get into more action and you're also a singer, do you have any plans for a musical career? I feel like it's so great now that every artist they have so many skills. They're not limited in one thing and they can do so much. And with the streaming platforms, you can be an actress, an amazing comedian, but you can also release your songs because you can be a great singer and it's all about create a message through your art so you can
Yeah.
pass to a an audience. And I was talking to Billy Porter the other day. I met him and I was talking to him. He was telling me that he has 3 albums, 3 or more albums. I was like, where are these albums? He's like, girl, I come way back. And then I started listening to his music. He's such a talented singer. He has an amazing, presence in music. And he told me he's gonna come with new albums and new music soon, which I'm
Mhm.
very excited for. What about your music career? Do you have any plans for it?
You know what? It's funny. I have people ask me about that all the time, only because people know that I can sing through the outlets I've been afforded as far as like an actor. So on Rosewood, I got to sing. On a Luke Cage, not only did I get to sing, I got to write the song I sang. So I got to write this huge pivotal moment in the show. It was an amazing experience, and like I've got like that song and like some other things out in the, wherever you buy download music. But because I was a part of these acting roles, even when I got to play Tina Turner, I got to sing doing that. But it's just funny. So people ask, and I just haven't figured out yet quite how to like connect the dots.
Tina Turner, Whitney Houston, the list goes on. Okay.
Yes, I haven't quite figured out how to connect the dots yet, because it wasn't. I mean, I used to sing. Like, I used to be a part of a singing group. I did try to get into that space. We had a song with 50 Cent, and like we did like little mini tours and like things like that. So I thought we were, going in that direction, but the music industry is hard. Now, I feel like it might be a lot easier now because, like you said, there's so many more outlets, there's so many more ways to kind of put your music out there, and people are a little more open. The audience is a little more open to hearing what you got going on. So I don't know. I won't say no. It's not something I'm actively pursuing right now. But hey, if there are any producers out there that want to hear me hit a me, let me know. We'll figure it out. I'm always open to do things, especially like you said, if it's elevating a message, if it's saying something. I think that's what's also as important as an artist. You want to have something to say, and I think if I figured that out, and like I said, if I knew how to produce music, I probably would have my own music out. But because it's something where you need other people to make it happen.
And
So
I mean, a girl got talent, girls. Like, she's performing Whitney Houston, Tina Turner. She can dance, she can sing, she can be funny, a whole comedian. I mean, you're gorgeous,
thank you.
beautiful, stunning. So, I mean, I'm sure you got this. I'll be there front row on your
Hey.
concerts if you ever. How important is it to have actors of color portraying superheroes like Black Panther?
I think it's very important. I mean, it's all about representation. It's like when I got to see Wonder Woman, I walked out of that movie just like, pew, pew, pew. I'm like, I'm in the parking lot doing flips and like kicks and all these things, because I literally felt empowered watching a woman embody this power and this strength and like all these things that she could do. And it clicked. I said, wait a minute, little boys grew up with this their whole life. We didn't grow up as women having that to see and to be inspired by. So it's that same thing that moves over with when it comes to people of color. When you see representation on the screen at such a young age, and even at my age, it's just very inspiring. But especially for young people who are really into all of the action figures and the superheroes and things like that. So everything from the comic books to it all becoming live action in movies and films, I mean, movies and television, it's very, very important. It's because it's one of those things that young people have to to hook their arm around and say, huh, this is a dream that can kind of be attainable for me. But not only that, like no one's necessarily thinking like I'm gonna one day get bitten by a spider or like whatever, and I'm gonna turn into some superhero. But the ability to dream big, it's almost like it gives you the permission to dream as big as you want to dream, something as much of a fantasy as being a superhero. So I think it's a beautiful thing when Marvel and the like take on representing and putting full front and putting the money behind stuff like Black Panther, which was such a huge movement, and is still so heavily adored in the hearts and minds of everybody, even post-mortem with Chadwick Boseman. So I know it's just a beautiful thing. I think we need to consistently make sure that it happens, not just for Black superheroes or Asians or Latinas, like the full spectrum. I feel like the door should just be open for everybody.
Imagine Sofia Vergara as a superhero.
Hello?
As Captain
I
Marvel.
can easily imagine Miss Sofia Vergara. She is a superhero, if we're going to be honest.
I'll live for that. I'll live for that. Gabrielle, you worked on so many projects. I mean, the list is so ginormous. I was trying to like write down all the things you've done, and I was like, come on, my hand is tired. What was the project that you enjoyed the most working on?
Oh gosh, I've enjoyed all of them. One of my favorite things is I'm huge on women empowerment. So obviously, a Black Lady Sketch Show is very, very fun for me. And one of the first projects that I worked on where I got to work with so many women was the Bring It On franchise, where I did one of the Bring It On movies. So working with like Christina Milian and the entire cast was so like we had the best time. But it's just like a good time that girls just like to have, So it just kind of made the shooting experience that much more enjoyable. Also, like I had a newfound respect for cheerleaders. I was a cheerleader in high school, but not quite to the level of a Bring It On level type cheerleading. I wasn't doing flips and tosses and things. Like my biggest skill was running, cartwheel, round off split. Like that was my thing. Like, and I could jump high and make people think I was about to do a bunch of Dominique dolls or whatever, like not happening. But yeah, so I just love I love girl time. And I guess because I was always such this focused kid, I didn't have a lot of girl time. So working with like girls, I kind of get that fun synergy of like women empowerment and womanhood.
Do you have any advice for young brown girls out there who's dreaming about becoming an artist and coming to Hollywood and joining entertainment industry? I mean, I feel like almost I could say, do you have an advice for...
And going for it and mapping it out and just not being afraid to believe in yourself. It's really about believing in yourself. And once you believe, trust me, other people follow. The power of words, the power of positive affirmation, the power of believing in yourself and actually going for it. Put it out in the universe. Everything is about energy. And I just love to hear that you got from where you were to where you are now. And this is just the beginning. It's just the beginning.
Period.
So I'm here for it. I can't wait to the next time I come in your new seasons where like every season you just keep growing and I wish you the absolute best. I wish you absolute best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming today. Today is so special